eyelight you can find obviously in the spectral reflections that you see around you. And so knowing that our key is actually behind us over here and we have this to play with, Hay's looking away from every single unit I have. And that's because we more want, if you're looking down here, we more wanted like a soft fill than anything else. You can kind of see, because we're so tight, that her spectral reflection is on the top of her eye in the corner, which makes sense because that is where our closest, biggest source is, which is this white wall I've been bouncing off of. But the simplest way of getting an eyelight in there would be to, if you wanted to move the eyelight down, is to find where that light is bouncing. And actually, for this I'll use my laptop. It's going to be great. So if I wanted to add a little bit of eyelight for Hay, I could bring it, where is she? So just, and then tilt it a little bit because we want to get there.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So that's very stupid because it's a laptop, but it gives you an example of how different bringing up someone's eyes can make you connect to an audience. And so as DPs, we are always trying to get that eyelight. But, you know, if we're ignoring eyeline for this and we're just looking at eyelight, if she was looking straight down at the ground, like naturally, because we can't see her eyes, I cannot get an eyelight in there. It's as simple as that. Just because we have, hey, look at the bottom of the lens now, doesn't make it, and there's without eyelight, so we're not feeling as connected. The brightest part of her face is her face, it's not her eyes. But once we find that eyelight with the laptop, because it's where the eyes are. There. Okay. So that right there, you know, using my laptop even just because it's silver, doesn't add a ton of light to her eye, to her face as much, but it just brings up the amount of closeness we can feel towards her. But if she was looking down, so if we're looking straight down naturally, you know, as an actor, I'm pulling for that, it's impossible for me to get eyelight down there because I have to really tuck in a laptop under like something so close to here, or a reflector normally, not a laptop, but I have to tuck in like whatever my source is, you know, below her, and it's a really hard thing to do. So it's so easy as an actor to find wherever you'll see where your reflection is based off of what the brightest thing is reflecting at you. So it's as simple as like, that's without, and now we feel more connected to our character because we have a little more happening on the inside of her eye there. And you can feel that obviously, hey, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like when I move this out, like,
It's gone.
it's gone. And you're just kind of like, okay. And then when I move it back in, it's like a huge difference. And you can see that that's the brightest part.
Yeah.
And can you describe what you're seeing when I do this?
It's just a lightness. Like, eyelight isn't blasting you in the eyes. It doesn't hurt. It's just, when I'm here, I can just kind of feel that it's a little brighter, a little lighter. It's actually easier to keep my eyes where they need to be when there's a little bit of eyelight because I can feel if I'm moving away from it on accident.
And one of the biggest things as a DP is I teach my actors that I work with that on set how to read for eyelights. And the way I say it is like, once you see this reflection, that's when you have an eyelight. So if you're moving within a scene and the brightest part of it is going to be where you have the strongest eyelight. And so wherever a reflector is placed, as soon as you see that reflector, it's like when you're looking, when they're like, when the camera can, if you can see the camera can see you. It's the same thing with reflectors and reflections and eyelight. If the unit is near you, it will probably be in your eyes. If it's a larger source, it will be a larger item in your eye. If it's a candle from far away, it'll just be like a really bright, tiny spot in your eye. And so it's all of these things that bring together how simple it is, but at the same time, how technical it is, that we just need to be able to see where those sources are within your eyes. And so having access to that, or if you want to even ask for an eyelight, if you're like, I really need to look down here, is there a way of getting an eyelight down there? Is totally something that you can have a conversation with your DP and director about.